the Tech Hub. So if you're not a member, reach out to me. I am available on the Owwll app. I have office hours every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Give me a call and we'll talk. Bear with me. I have one announcement. We have our last event of the year. It's going to be Wednesday, December 18th. It's going to be at the 94th Aero Squadron in Miami, near the Miami airport. If you've never been there, it's a very interesting venue, restaurant, really kind of fun place. With South Florida Tech Hub and the SIM chapter here in South Florida, Society of Information Management, and the ISACA chapter, ISACA, the Information Society Audit and Control Association. Say that 3 times fast. That's why they call it ISACA. Both SIM and ISACA are very active local chapters. I think it'll be a good event. It's not only a networking event, we're calling it Jingle and Mingle, but it's also a toy drive for the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. So come out, network, have fun, and bring a toy. A quick shout out to our sponsors, City Furniture, eCentire, Pure Storage, Dexian, and the law office of James Steppen, who is also on a board. So I think that's enough for me for now. I'll take directions and fly the plane for a while. I'm going to turn it over to Cindy and let her introduce herself and then introduce our 2 experts of the day. Cindy, I'm transferring control of the plane to you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm so excited to be here with these amazing guests. So thank you, Jeffrey. I just want to give a shout out to South Florida Tech Hub as well. So many incredible people, and it's an incredible community. I've been involved in the tech community in South Florida for 25 years.
No way.
And yes.
You're not old enough.
And it really is a tight-knit group, and you guys do so many beautiful things. And Owwll is incredible too. So hoot hoot to Owwll.
Thank you.
So we have 2 incredible guests today. I'm so excited. 2 founders, local founders, and I don't know a lot about Justin, so I'm excited to learn about Justin. I know a lot about Amanda. This woman is incredible, and her backstory, her founder story. Maybe we'll start with you, Amanda. You tell us and how you got to where you are today with your Next Level Recovery Associates.
Awesome. Thank you so much, all of you, for having me, for the team behind this, the ones that are putting it together, for you hosts, for my co-speaker today, co-pilot today. And Cindy, thank you for all that you do for me, for the community. And so I'm so excited to be here. So just introduce myself and my company. So I'm a born and raised Floridian, actually. I was born in Fort Lauderdale and raised in Delray, went to middle school in Boca. So my company is based here in Boca. I now live in Wellington area, and I love where we live. You know, a lot of people are from other places that I'm friends with or in close relation. And the people I grew up with were like, I can't wait to get out of here. And I never felt that way. I appreciate the beaches. I love all of it. So I developed Next Level Recovery Associates among a number of things in my path and my journey. I say that I've lived many lives because I had a child young, and I was in entertainment for 22 years, and I've just literally lived a lot of lives. So with my company, I went on my own. I worked in behavioral health for a decade, and I started to not love like the back end business end. I did business development and marketing, and I started to be called my heart in a different direction, which I have that a lot, and I follow it. And I wanted to create something that was, I learned the business of what I do by working for other people for years on the side. And I wanted to help meet people that are struggling and suffering in a different way. I think the old outdated model wasn't working anymore, and people were trying the same thing, and we're getting these same results that were not so great. So I had a partner for 4 years. I'm almost to 1 whole year of being the only owner.
Yay, shout out, #female founder.
And my former business partner is still my brother and one of my best friends. So it was not like this messy thing. He had a different, dream for himself, and he wanted to follow that. And I'm so proud of him for doing what he's doing. So what I do is I help families, help individuals with life, mental health, substance use disorder, eating disorders, body issues, co-parenting, doing public speaking on overcoming adversity, and how
You have a podcast too.
I do. My podcast is called Overcoming Adversity. I've had it since 2019. It's had a couple hiatuses. I started that before my business, actually. Yeah. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like I shared with you at the beginning, the thing that first came up to me with this podcast was the fact that I started my business right before the pandemic. And I was a woman who knew how to do everything in person, like all my relationship building. So if I wanted to succeed in the beginning, like my beginning of my company, I had to become really well versed in how to host Zoom networking meetings, how to, work on Zoom, how to get really good on social media and try to be different and make an impression and build a business in a time when everybody was losing their jobs. I was thriving and killing it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's a little intro.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Amazing. And by the way, I just have to say that South Florida Tech Hub has a women's peer group too, right?
Correct.
Little
Well, I'll
insight
talk
about
a little
that.
about that. So why don't we let Justin introduce
Yeah,
himself and then I'll talk.
Yes. So, by the way, I looked at Justin's website. I am a huge fan already. I just think what you do is so cool. I know you're in Stewart. We talked a little bit before about you expanding. My son's school is in Hope Sound, and I'm like, I have to get you or them to take a tour because
Awesome.
it's the coolest thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's learn about you and your backstory and your business.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I also have to set the precedent of thank you very much for having me in. I feel honored to be here and in such good company too. So it's a really cool experience. And I've also been involved or associated with Tech Hub in various capacities since I moved to Florida about 9 years ago. So it's an awesome community. Just being here today is a testament to that and all
Thank
the
you.
events that you guys host.
Did I ask you to say that before?
No,
Thank you.
no, but I feel that way. I really
Thank you.
do. So, okay. So I guess the quick story of myself, which will kind of converge into the story of Printera, the company that I started. So I'm not a Florida native. I'm born and raised in Pennsylvania. I lived there until I was 10. And then I became international. So I spent 3 years in Singapore, 2 years in the south of France.
Wow.
I returned to Pennsylvania
For
and picked up
school or
Army brat?
not Army brat.
No. Okay. That's my guess.
So it was my dad. He had a job where he was building factories for the company he was working for. And whenever they needed a new one or to make something good happen, we would go to the places that demanded it. So,
Wow. That's so cool.
Singapore was awesome. France was awesome. And then I returned to Pennsylvania and finished out high school in the same school district that I grew up in. So all of my best friends to today are the friends that I made in kindergarten.
Wow.
So
Oh, I love that.
I wish I had that. I envy that and love that for people.
Yes,
That's
Thank you.
I have a similar. Yeah, I love that. It was my 8th grade class was 28 people, so it was small, and we're still have a group text together, and yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, and a testament even to that is we were a little bit of a larger class in where I was from in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, but it's still a pretty close knit team, and I'm actually married to my high school sweetheart.
Oh my goodness.
I love that.
All together.
Who are you?
So after high school, I graduated high school and I moved to Boston to do my undergraduate in business management up at Bentley in Boston. And in parallel to that, my folks moved to Australia. So I was spending winters and summers going to Australia.
Wow.
I'm jealous. Wow.
Wait, Western Australia by chance?
Not Western. I have been to Perth.
I'm obsessed with Esperance. I want to go there so bad.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. No, so it was Victoria, so Melbourne, and so I did a good bit of traveling. I've been to so far 45 countries, and I have one of those little scratch-off maps. So
I love it.
I like to try and fill that in as much as possible. But out of college, I went to work for a big Fortune 50 company, United Technologies, and they're the ones who relocated me to Florida because the first 2 years of that job was in Connecticut. And not to dig Connecticcut too bad, but there wasn't really a lot going on in Connecticut.
It's cold.
My mom's from there, and that's why
I love it, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it has its charms.
Close to New York.
Right. Close to New York, close to Boston. I mean, it has its charms, but when they said, "Oh yeah, do you want to move to Florida?" and then the company paid for 10 days of time to come down, it was like a vacation, right? To come and say, "Hey, could you live in paradise?" And absolutely, right?
Right.
So
yes.
they brought me down, and I worked for a couple companies after relocating. So I did the kind of IT consulting thing for a while with Levitas. Shout out to that company. They've been involved in Tech Hub for a while.
Oh,
And then I
yeah.
went to work for International Market Centers. And basically, that was coming into COVID. And I was doing this. I was a 3D printing enthusiast, just like little plastic printers.
I am now too. After
fun.
watching your videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just like knickknacks, and the idea that you can build something from just like a raw material and it
Yeah.
happens in an automated way. It was just really interesting to me. And I want to say about 6 years now, while I was working that job, an article came through my inbox and it said, "Hey, this company is 3D printing a house." And I was going, "Wow, that sounds crazy. How are they doing that?" And I was intrigued enough to call them up and just express my interest. And they were kind enough to allow me to come and observe for a day.
Wow.
So I took a day of vacation. I went and I observed, and I stepped back from that and said, "This is going to change the face of construction. It really is going to make a huge impact."
1,000%. It's amazing.
Yep. And then I said, yeah, I got to get involved. I got to do something. I don't have a general contracting background. I have a project management background. So I said, how can I take this same technology, scale it down a little bit, and do things that don't require permitting? And it was a moonlighting operation, and on the weekends when I was still working that job. And if you believe in just timing is everything, I
do. Yep.
so it was kind of coming out of COVID. So my job went remote. So I had a lot of time to contribute into that second venture. And I got the formula down in my garage in Palm City. Like I actually had a little POC and proof of concept. And I said, yeah, I think I have a real business here. And I went and I raised $410K on a safe note, convertible note, to scale the business.
Wow.
And I bought a manufacturing, like the large scale machine that we use today. And I found a commercial space. And the company that makes the machine is from the Netherlands, and they were down doing an installation. And they left on a Wednesday. And the Friday of that same week, I got laid off from my IT job.
Oh,
Divine timing.
I
Divine
literally just
timing.
got goosebumps. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It was part of an 80% layoff. Like it was just crazy. Like when everyone, like at Twitter, like all the IT companies, they were laying people off, and it happened for me. And I was like, wow, my hand is forced to now really do this full time.
Yeah.
And I had the severance package, and I had the continuation of benefits, which was holding me back because I was really worried. I have 2 kids, and I was like, all right, I'm the single income provider in my household. So I was really nervous about taking that leap, and I was kind of pushed into making that decision. And here we are now.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we've done some really cool projects. We printed the first artificial reef in Florida. We printed the first concrete 3D printed project in New York City at 25 Water Street in downtown Manhattan. And my co-founder was actually the print operator of the first 3D printed house in Florida, and it's in Tallahassee.
I saw that on
Wow,
your
I'm
website.
definitely gonna
It's
check
so
that
cool.
out.
Yeah, so
Do
there's
you,
some cool-
do you want to surprise everyone with our little example?
Oh, so okay, yeah. So I was
Okay.
asked in being here to bring a prop. So I did bring the smallest thing that we can 3D print, because we are working in concrete. So this
We printed
it's a
this
bowl.
this morning.
Yeah,
So
no,
cool.
it didn't come this morning.
Stop. Really?
But what I like about it, and the reason I thought it would make a good prop is, one, it's the smallest thing that I could print, because we are talking bigger scale stuff. But
Can I touch?
absolutely, yeah.
Very
So
interested.
it's concrete. It's a building material. But what I want to point to is that the quality that we print at, right? When you enhance this and bring it to housing, for example,
Yes.
right? You can imagine that the wall of your structure can have a neat pattern like this and a finish that looks like this. And now you don't have to do the secondary processes. You don't have to drywall it. You don't have to stucco it.
Wow.
Right? So you're taking all those processes out, and now you have an affordable product.
It's
And that's how we're
incredible.
tackling the affordable housing market, because
I think
It's
it's
baffling.
honestly, I think it's a game changer. I think it's going to, like you said, just revolutionize the whole construction industry, and also the homeless issue, which is so sad. And it's not just because one of my other clients does a lot of work with the Homeless Coalition, and it's not just people that you think are homeless. It literally, like when I grew up, there were people that were homeless, but now it's people that have jobs that are homeless. They just, people that work at Disney are homeless sometimes, so
Transitions.
yeah, exactly. So I'm sure you've seen that too. Amanda.
Absolutely. The thing that I sparked my most attention with this 3D printing thing is the things that they're doing in the medical community too. That's really interesting. Like we're changing, we're going to help make, save people with homes and things, and make them, like all the things you said, and which is such a big benefit, but also that you can create like something that helps save someone's life is so interesting to me.
There's companies 3D printing organs, right? But using the donor tissue, right? So you have a perfect match and it's not going to get rejected. I mean, the
Wow.
whole
That's
additive
so
industry is
crazy.
It is
Isn't that so hard to
crazy.
like wrap your mind
It
around?
is.
It's
It
incredible.
is. I was just wondering with the houses, so it meets code and everything, like because it's
It-
concrete. So
it
I think,
does.
yeah.
It does. So the way that it's looked at today, at least in Florida, is it's a what we consider a post and beam construction. So if we're printing a house, we're doing 2 parallel lines, and then we're notching every 4 to 6 feet to create a fill cell. And that fill cell gets rebar tied into the slab, and that gets backfilled with concrete, the same way your block does, right?
Wow.
So that's how county's looking at it. But the benefit that this actually brings over a traditional block is that this is about 3 times as strong, just from
Wow.
a compressive.
Just to give you an
standpoint.
idea, I could barely lift it. It
Wow.
is.
And
It
you
is not. It is not going away in a Cat 5
The
hurricane.
design element is gorgeous. I
And you
saw
can
some of them
see
on
it.
your website, like the coffee tables and
Right,
the
right.
chairs and
So it's fun to do those little bits and pieces, right? Kind of the architectural accents.
Yeah.
But when you start to think about like what this could mean for housing, right? So you have a product that's 3 times as strong, but now you can also say, hey, the robot doesn't care if it's making a straight line or a curve. So even if you want a traditional house that looks, like what we know today, we can curve all the edges, all the corners. And now you have a wind resistance factor as well. So think about hurricane resistance, right? Or think about concrete as a material and how that can be resilient to fire damage or flooding damage, right? So in Florida, right, I mean, we're constantly confronted with hurricanes and flooding. And
Mhm.
if you like a finish like this and you want to take drywall out of the equation or stucco out of the equation, and you live in a flood prone area, if water does enter your home and you don't have drywall, you don't have to gut it, right? I mean, it comes in, it goes out, you clean it up.
You can
And,
see the actual, like the how, things are usually put together. This is made together. You can see that quality of it, which is amazing.
So a general question. You obviously, I guess, save on labor. There may be other costs. What's a ballpark difference in 3D printing a house cost-wise than, let's say, a traditional house, whatever a traditional house is?
Yeah.
Compare and contrast that.
So, and
If you
I don't,
can.
no, I absolutely, I want to, because there's a lot of bad information in the industry about it right now. So if you Google 3D printed house, right, you see like sensationalist headlines. Oh, this company is printing a house for $5,000, right? So the first caveat to that is oftentimes they're only talking about the cost of printing, not the whole house, right? So, this company 3D printed for $10,000, right? Like, yeah, that was the cost of some walls for a tiny home. But in reality, what we like to say today is that in today's world, right now, if you called me and said, hey, I want to 3D print my house on a straight wall basis, a straight line versus a concrete block straight line, we're probably 10 to 15% more expensive. But when you say, hey, I like this finish and I don't want to cover it with stucco and I don't want to drywall it, now saving all those extra processes out, we're somewhere the 10 to 15% less expensive than existing homes. So it's not, it's not like a magic silver bullet, right? It's drastically decreasing the cost of homes, but it's moving in that direction. And the other thing is today, the cost of the 3D printed concrete is considerably higher. It's like 3 to 4 times the price of regular concrete. And that isn't because it's super special. It's just that we're ordering in such low quantities compared to what traditional concrete manufacturers are used to producing, and they have to clean their whole line and change it over. So
that'll change. It'll go down just like everything else. Like I can already see that it'll be
back in the day, right?
It'll be affordable soon.
Exactly. So that's kind of exact. That's where I was kind of going with it, right? Is that today you can become cheaper depending on how you design it, but I think if we're sitting here having this discussion in 5 years, this should be the cheapest way, no matter how you use it.
So I'm going to book you from 5 years from now, and we'll see.
Kind of like flat screens. Remember, they were like $2,000 for like a 30-inch flat screen.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, there's so many things that were like the thing, and they were so but this it's super awesome what you're doing. It's very inspiring.
So just to recap what Cindy said, it meets all codes. That's not an issue. Maybe slightly more expensive today. Let me ask you a related question.
But he said 10 to 15% less than actual construction.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got that backwards. I'm sorry.
In the finished product, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of people like
is more. Right.
Got it.
Exactly.
Got it. Sorry about that.
No.
We talked a little about this, but so clearly this is a disruptive technology, brand new technology. Having talked with a lot of other startups where they have a disruptive technology, construction's clearly a long time, entrenched industry. what's been the response to some of the other, let's say, more larger traditional hole builders? How have they reacted to this technology and to Printera?
So there's a universal interest, right? It's been popularized enough now that people are kind of aware that it's out there. Even if they don't fully understand 3D printing, right? They've seen, like, there's a 60-minute segment that was covered by a big company in Texas. So we're pretty successful with having the meetings or the introductions, and then it comes down to the attitude of the construction company, right? Like, some are very eager to try something new and embrace the technology. The vast majority just want to do things the way that they know. So,
Right.
And
God, I can so relate to that. It's kind of like what I said. I can relate. It's human.
Yeah, and it perfectly makes sense, right? I mean, if you're a successful construction company, you've been in business for 15, 20 years longer, right? And you have a crew that you're familiar with, I can see how it'd be a challenge to try something new and take a little risk on. But the way that we're approaching kind of the existing industry now is we actually came up with an idea that I think is kind of cool. Is, hey, for the big players in the market, right, that are building houses out of block and they don't want to change, we can 3D print just corners or just accent walls, right? So now you build a house the way that you know, but the part that's expensive for you to do today, right? Because it's very expensive, the curved block, right? If you want a bay window in your home, right, like a
Who
soft
knew?
curve, right? That takes a special craftsman to line them up that way. So now we could just print that bay window, right, and deliver it, and it'll match up to your block, and now. Now there's a very real savings immediately in that.
I love that. I see a strategic alliance with a big builder, because imagine it could be like a signature piece in every single home.
Collaboration over competition.
Absolutely.
Yes. Love it. So, Amanda, we have a reality star here. We didn't talk about that. So, Amanda was one of the cast members of Digital Addiction and Intervention. So maybe you can tell us a little, especially Digital Addiction, now that we're here with South Florida Tech Hub, and how
very relevant. Actually, I didn't even think of that part. So yes, I was blessed, to, go from the days of being, on doing runways and commercials, and then hip hop dancer and music videos. I did a Ricky Martin She Bangs video, from going from that life, which was like that.
She has led many lives.
I have many lives. So that fulfilled me in my 20s, right? But I'm a 43-year-old mother. I have a 19-year-old and a 12-year-old. What fulfills me today is to show up as a woman of substance and to be able to change the world one person at a time. So I had the opportunity. Very few people there's no like digital addiction diagnosis. There's nothing in the DSM-5. I'm not a clinician, but I partner with, I have multiple psychiatrists, psychologists, and clinicians on my team. So I know I've done a lot of trainings and done a lot of work. And so they're starting this show and they're reaching out to people, and barely anyone has any training in it. And I did a gaming addiction and social media.
It's interesting. Training. It's kind of at the cusp, just like what we were talking about with 3D printing,
Yeah. So that show, I believe, and I think the producers believe, it only made it one season because America is not ready to admit we have a problem with it yet, right? And then what is the line crossing? Like there were some clients that were coming across. I worked on 3 episodes. So the women, I worked with young women that had been through trauma, kind of my story, and they were so obsessed with social media that they were not functioning in their lives. One was a young mom. She was a teen mom, and a couple of her teen mom things went viral, and she was spending like 22 hours on social media sometimes, and her kids ran in the street. Very crazy. Another one was living in the woods to teach people about mental health, even though she had no personal connection with anybody, nothing like that, to make her TikToks. And my pitch to helping her to go to get help was, hey, imagine when you get help for you, what you're going to be able to offer the world. So it was a great experience. And then Intervention, that's like something I believe I manifested. I saw it on TV when I started in behavioral health. I said, I'm going to be on that show one day. Like, I claimed it, and it's been on for a long time. My friend Ken Seeley's been on there since the beginning. And I had a lot of friends help me get on there. And for me, it was like a full circle, like being able to give back and be a woman of substance on TV.
It is giving back, because when you watch the show, it's you're helping people, and that's what you're doing every day.
Yeah. And being, I work with very high-end clientele in my day-to-day, and being able to go through the experiences. There's people in the show don't have money, and they're getting offered 90 days of like a very expensive quality treatment center in the digital show, as well as Intervention. And I just there were some scary situations I saw, like there are some places in this country that we're all not aware of that, like they're in Memphis. There's a neighborhood that cops won't even go if they're called. It's that scary. And I filmed there, and it was we had to have armed security and stuff like that. So it showed me that all these things are going on in America, that even like I do this for a living, that I wasn't aware that there's such, like poverty, people living in trap houses and tents, and children in dangerous situations. It's really terrible, but I think we're getting better.
That's why we need affordable tiny homes with 3D printers
and quality mental health care for all.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Speaking of that, first of all, thank you, Justin. Thank you, Amanda.
Yes.
I'm sure people are going to want to follow up and talk to you. So I'm going to ask both of you this question.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and spell out the URL of your website so people can find you?
Sure. Yeah. So the name of my company is Printera. So it's Printera, and then it's 3D.com. So yeah, Printera3D.com.
Right. So have you
love the name?
Yeah, I do too.
Great name.
I want to come back to that if we have time, because I know you've pivoted. Well, go ahead and talk a little about that. That wasn't your original name of the company, and a lot of founders find they need to pivot and change their name. So talk a little about that. I think that's interesting.
Sure. So kind of harking back to when I started the company, right? Thinking about not being a general contractor and not really focusing on printing buildings. I started the company, I called it Printed Patio, because I wanted to do kind of outdoor living things and outdoor kitchens and stuff like that. And it was actually a story of finding my co-founder, who has an architecture background. His name's also Justin. So if you call Printera, you'll get a Justin no matter what, by the way.
Love that. Justin and Justin.
Right? Easy to remember.
And it was just wild because he was like doing 3D concrete printing on his own. And so it's like you've got two different Justins with 3D printing in mind. And so he integrated with me on some projects. And then it wasn't long before I asked him to come on board and join the team. And with his background and capability set, we started looking at bigger and bigger projects and doing things that weren't necessarily outdoor. And so, yeah, we said it felt right that we needed to come up with a new brand that addresses the broader market of solutions that we can.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, because I knew you by the other name, and it's like, I don't know if that's exactly where you're going. So kudos for that, and you're building strong brand equity. So in addition to the website, have you thought about, are you going to have office hours on Owwll or specific times? And if you are going to have office hours for people that want to follow up on Owwll,
sure,
what are they going to be?
Yeah, so somebody mentioned before joining the podcast a really great idea of becoming active whenever you're commuting somewhere or
right.
in the car.
That was my idea.
Jason does that too. Yeah, sometimes we talk on Owwll in the morning.
I
love that.
Yeah,
I stole the idea from Jason.
Yeah, so I think that's an awesome idea. So I definitely want to do that. I've been on Owwll, a few months before joining the podcast, because Jason's everywhere in all the South Florida tech type of events, and so I don't have a formal office hour yet.
Okay.
I do plan to be available on request, and then also I'll join kind of during my commutes.
Okay, so if you want to talk to Justin, follow him on Owwll, and that way when he goes on demand, you'll get a notification. So Amanda, I'm sure people are going to want to follow up with you.
Yeah,
What's
I hope
the URL?
so.
They will. What's the URL of your website? Do you prefer LinkedIn, maybe Instagram? And same question about you on your being available on Owwll.
Absolutely. And I also have a whole name thing too that I'll
Okay.
touch,
All
I'll
right.
touch on.
Yeah,
So we have a lot of similarities, even though we're in different worlds. I love that.
There's a lot of crossover, right?
Yeah, I love to find the similarities and things that can.
So we deliberately had y'all both on the same show at the same time.
Great job. Great job. So it's nextlevelra.com. It used to be nextlevelrecoveryassociates.com, which is long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
and so like we learned, and then also now I'm
Is
launching.
that one word or is there a hyphen?
It's all in one.
One word.
Nextlevelra.com.
One word.
One as far as what do you mean?
Nextlevelra.com. The
Yep.
next
Yes,
level RA
yes.
is one word.
Yeah.
All-
No hyphen. No.
That's what I
Nothing,
mean.
just
Yeah.
just
Okay.
straight across.
Just want to make sure.
And and because I want to serve people outside substance use and mental health and eating disorders and failure to, so we've done a lot of failure to launch and change life. I'm starting Next Level Wellness. So that website it'll be nextlevelwellnesscollective.com. It's going to be launching in the new year. And AmandaMarinoSpeaks.com, because I'm working hard on my professional speaking career.
She just
outside
did an
Printera Health.
incredible keynote this past weekend.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Cindy.
it's
That's awesome.
amazing.
It was
Yeah.
really great people. It was super heart fulfilling. And then Amanda Marino Official on TikTok, as well as Instagram. And then I have this streaming on my LinkedIn. So I'm on LinkedIn, Amanda Marino. I got into it early in the game. So I got kind of lucky that I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn. I love you.
45,000 I checked.
No.
Wow. Congratulations and kudos.
Yeah. And also on your Instagram, you have a lot of followers, and she does a lot of lives on Instagram. You're so good at it. You're just a natural. You know, you can tell that you're a TV personality because you're just, and it comes from the heart, which is beautiful.
Thank you. I remember telling the producers on the show, I'm like, I have to be able to be me. Please don't tell me to if I don't feel comfortable, I need to be able to be me with the clients. And they supported that, which was awesome.
Wonderful.
What about being available on Owwll? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I would love to. It's I'm going to do it right after
Okay.
our podcast. I'm in, and I would probably be a scheduled person because my life is just so at max capacity. But I always have time for we can always create time for something.
Anyone who wants to learn more about that Ricky Martin video.
Oh, fun fact on that. Do you guys know Channing Tatum? Who that is?
do.
Okay, this was
What woman doesn't know Channing Tatum?
his first ever
And men, it's okay if you don't know.
his first ever job in entertainment was that video that I was
Wow.
on. So I got to watch him from day one.
How
Cool.
Fun fact.
cool.
So my homework tonight is to go look up that video and find you.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. So thank you for that. One of the new features of the show is we try to check in with our previous experts of the day. So again, Justin, Amanda, thank you for being the experts for today. We are live.
You're not going anywhere, so stick with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I will follow up with you. We usually give it a couple of weeks. So we are live. So we're going to try and use the actual technology. We're going to call Scott Jewett. He's the CEO of Wisp Energy. He was on a couple of weeks ago.
Awesome.
And let's see if I can connect with him.
Tell us about Wisp.
Wisp
Jeffrey.
is another disruptive technology. If we can't connect with Scott, I'll explain it, but he can probably do better. But it's really
Hello.
Scott.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you?
I am good.
Perfect timing.
Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to Tech Tuesday.
So thanks for
I like
go ahead, Scott.
Tech Tuesdays.
Thank you. We liked you. You were a very interesting expert of the day. Speaking of that, why don't you do a quick intro? Cindy just asked me what Wisp Energy is. I'm going to let you explain that. And tell us, I don't know if we have breaking news or new news. We talked about that. And then we'll talk a little about your use of Owwll. But go ahead and introduce yourself and what Wisp Energy does.
Well, glad to. Wisp Energy is a company that has patented a new and improved wind turbine for offshore wind generation.
Wow.
And we've got a couple of patents on the process. We were in the FAU incubator. We've won a couple of pitch awards, and we are currently trying to get to the point of some actual testing in scale of the prototypes.
Wow.
Our breaking news is we are entering into a collaboration partnership with a professor of aerospace and wind energy who has his own patented system that we're putting together.
Wow.
So we're combining our two technologies, and we're going to be working with the University of Iowa to do some mini tests in their fake ocean and their wind tunnels. So it's going to be fun.
That professor, can you say the school he's affiliated with?
Yeah, he's University of Miami.
University of Miami.
Wow, how
And
cool.
we talked
Hey.
about this. Is there some other, I know the answer, but I don't know if I should say other particulars of the agreement, which is interesting?
Are you talking about the fact that we're entering into a joint development agreement with them?
And they're, correct me if I'm wrong, they're actually making an equity investment as well in Wisp Energy, or taking an equity investment, correct?
They aren't. We're forming a joint venture.
Okay.
That's a collaboration between the two entities.
Okay.
The company is called CoFlow Jet Technologies, and they've got 20 patents on their
Okay.
proved blades for wind turbines. So you put that together with Wisp Energy, and we've got the killer app.
Wow.
Awesome.
Incredible. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Sorry, I had it partially correct there. That's what happens when you do breaking news. So one quick thing, when we had Scott on the show, I had no idea, but traditional wind turbines are very inefficient. Very inefficient energy creators. And the way they build the efficiency is get them bigger and bigger to the point where you can't make them any bigger. So Scott's disruptive design is a completely different approach. Is that a fair summary?
It is, Jeffrey. Thanks for mentioning that. Basically, we've got a design that brings it much closer to the ground, lowers the cost a bunch, and it's modeled after like an America's Cup racing yacht, which, by the way, are extremely efficient, up to 85%. And as you said, traditional wind turbines, I think the best they've done is about 24% efficiency. So we've got now testing on this new blade technology. We've got our designs patented, and we are ready to get to the next stage, which is to show this works in an actual scaled down environment. So it's going to be fun.
I talked to Justin about pivoting. I know you pivoted from land to ocean based. Talk a little about that. What led to that?
Yeah, so I think just in doing our market validation and studying the industry and getting more and more contacts within the energy industry, the land-based wind turbines, as you mentioned, Jeffrey, they're just trying to make them bigger and bigger. And the tips of those wind turbines travel at up to 200 kilometers an hour, which is why they kill birds and make noise and are a maintenance issue. What we've done is modeled this after a sailing vessel and basically put a America's Cup racing yacht on the grid, so we can go closer to the water. It is smooth and graceful like a sailing ship, and not like propeller in the sky like these wind turbines that everybody's seen out there. So we've got a pretty compelling solution for the energy industry. Unfortunately, the new administration isn't excited about wind turbines, so we're looking overseas now to find partners that are interested in the technology.
Well, I think if they knew about it, though, because yours is bigger, better, and more efficient. And by the way, maybe it can be even created with a 3D printer.
I like that.
Maybe you need a concrete pedestal for them to sit on, right?
And yeah, we had a TEDx speaker that spoke about nuclear energy. It was a really great talk. She was from MIT, but this is an incredible, it sounds like an incredible technology. And it sounds like if the new administration knew about this new technology, they would be on board with it, because I think that's what you said. I mean, the current system is not working, right? And that's why you have a competitive edge.
So I haven't discussed this with Cindy, and she may get mad, but I'm going to suggest, Scott, I've seen him speak and present. You might want to consider him at your next TEDx.
Sure. We're going to be setting a date soon, so I'll definitely keep him posted.
All right.
It sounds like you like to have people that are disruptors on here. I like that.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of, and I want to answer Cindy's questions about what we do for women in technology. So one of our 4 core pillars is startups and entrepreneurships.
Yeah.
And a lot of those startups, like Justin's, like Scott's, are disruptive technology. Not an easy thing to do when you're displacing a large entrenched industry. They're not always so loving and encompassing. So it's not an easy battle. And you've got to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may not be optimum, it still works. So they face a lot of those challenges. So quick question for you, Scott, and I believe this is true for Justin. You are still currently looking for investment as a startup, correct?
We are, and to kind of round out that point, certainly an NGO or a foundation would be a likely option for us. We were approved for a SBIR application last year, and that's still sitting out there. But ideally, Jeffrey, the partnership I had in the past with BP Oil, where we did open innovation with them. They funded development. their engineering team got involved in the process. That's a beautiful potential outcome for us to get a big wind turbine company to join us, use our patents and technology, and add to it their distribution chain, their supply chain, and their expertise. Now we got a great partnership to grow this.
Right. So Scott, we've got about 2 minutes left. Talk a little about your availability on Owwll, your usage of Owwll to date.
Yeah, I've gotten probably 6 or 7 incoming calls from Owwll. I'm learning how to use it, and I'm getting more and more exposed to it through my conversation with you, Jeffrey. So I recommend it to any entrepreneur out there. It's a great way to get your network growing and connect with like-minded people and get contacts.
Right. Do you typically go on demand, or do you have specific office hours, or both?
I did office hours for a while,
Okay.
and then I switched to on demand recently.
Okay. The amazing panel. Any questions for Scott? We got about a minute and a half.
I have a quick question, Scott.
Sure.
Congratulations for being, a disruptor. I love that. You just said on the app that you switched from the scheduled to on demand. Can you share like why and what was the benefit of that? Just because I'm going to be new to it, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I really liked having set hours on there with the holidays and my travels and my just when I'm available. So
Whoop, you're breaking up a little, Scott.
We're losing you.
Hello.
Go ahead. You broke up a little.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, there we are. You're back. You're back.
No, I said that with the travel schedule and the holidays and my schedule conflicts, I couldn't commit to set hours, so I switched. But probably after the first, I'll go back to a set hour.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So the Owwll app is flexible. You can do both. You can do one, or you can do none.
By the way, I'm going to reach out to Scott on the Owwll app because I think what he's doing is really cool. We did have a solar speaker
Cindy,
too
I'm going to
on
interrupt.
TEDx.
I'm going to hang up, Scott, and
Bye,
Cindy.
Scott.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for calling.
You rock.
I feel bad that the owl's hiding.
Okay. Thank you.
Our mascot.
A little OCD right there.
Go ahead, Cindy. You had a question?
No, I think what he's doing is incredible. Honestly, I think, and the fact that it is a disruptor, and it's like there are so many. Just because we did have a TEDx speaker on solar and one on nuclear, and so they did talk about the pros and cons of all the different energy, and there were a lot of cons with wind. And obviously that his technology is overcoming those obstacles. So that's why I'm saying I feel like the more people get to learn about it. Oh,
he's falling. My owl.
Oh, so cute. Our little friend there. So anyway, as we're entering the new year, we're going to be, I guess we're calling Donna.
We are. But go ahead.
Hi. Just maybe we'll start with you, Amanda. What's going on for the new year? Maybe just some things that you're working on, and then we'll talk to Justin about the new year too. And I know you had mentioned before we started, Justin, about expansion. So
yeah, definitely. The next level wellness, to meet people that don't, because people reach out to me and say, hey, I don't have addiction. I don't have mental health struggles, but like I have life struggles. So I've been working on that since July with Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And then also my professional speaking, and my TED Talk is now written. So it's being pitched out there. So that's exciting. And then I host a winter.
Which TED event?
I wrote it with some professional coaches for support. So they're pitching me all for a year to all of them.
All the TEDs.
So all different ones. It's
Okay,
up there
all right.
professionals, so that I'm letting them have me help me in that.
Got it.
And
I always say better not to put all your eggs in one basket, right?
And
Although you do have some connections.
Well, I'm usually like, I'm a creative. I think of something and just throw it against the wall and make it happen. I've approached this extremely different than my past, how I normally do. I've taken my time. I've put a lot into it. I host a conference in wintertime. It's a leadership conference for behavioral health. So I'm doing that in March. And it's
Exciting.
great. We ski and snowboard and breaks and stuff like that. So it's really cool. And
Love
yeah, just
it.
a lot of great things. And a lot of, I did carve out I'm doing a solo retreat for the second year in a row in Costa Rica by myself, created on my
Love
own.
it.
So that's my thing I have
To
to do
learn
every
more
year.
about that.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm going to host one eventually, but
Yeah.
for now, I need it just for me.
Awesome.
Why don't you answer Cindy's question, Justin, and then let's go back because I know you are still looking for investment.
2025. What's cooking?
Sure. So, all right. So I'll start with one that is very pertinent to our discussion here. Early next year, we've partnered with a company called Minneapolis, and they focus on tiny homes. But they're holding a gala, and the intention is that we're going to be printing a house for a single mom.
Oh, I was a single mom
I love
twice.
it.
Yeah. So
So
it's going to be a really cool event. The gala is already scheduled. So the idea is it's a fundraiser specifically for that purpose.
Is it here in South Florida?
It is in
Okay.
Florida. It's going to be towards Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda area. That's where they're focusing their tiny home development.
we need to get Elon Musk involved.
Can you?
He's all about tiny homes.
Can you share with me and Cindy? I definitely would love to support and be there in any way I can. Donate, whatever I can
Absolutely.
do.
It would be awesome to connect you with that because I think
Yeah.
that would just be really cool. Like,
Yeah, I
for
would love.
everybody
I'd
involved.
love to help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. And then switching gears a little bit more towards like internal Printera stuff. We are currently going through a fundraising round. So we actually
I saw that on the website, right?
Yeah, so we approached it a little bit differently. So rather than bring in a venture capital company, we're actually cleared by the SEC to do a Reg CF. So it's a crowdfunding round. So
I
people
love
can
it.
buy equity directly in Printera, and you get common shares, and that is live on Start Engine. So
Why don't you spell that URL?
Sure.
in total?
So Start Engine's a big crowdfunding platform. So it's just StartEngine.com. And then if you put a /Printera in it, Printera, you'll come right to our page where you can see how you can buy shares. But in general, if you just find your way to Start Engine, you can search Printera. We're featured. We made like top 15 most momentum a couple times.
Wow.
And so
Very cool.
so
I want to do that too. I want to buy some shares.
cool. Yeah, you can be a part owner.
Too.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm glad.
Step in line, everyone on LinkedIn.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I looked at the website and this is an amazing idea because you don't have to buy 100,000, 10,000. You can buy a small amount. So a lot of people don't necessarily have a lot of money to invest.
Yep.
So definitely go and consider, purchasing some of the stock.
Thanks. Yeah, I just want to add to that because I think what's interesting, right, is we're kind of in an age now of like social investing, right? So like a lot of people are playing on Robinhood and the different platforms where you can throw a little money into this company and throw a little money into that company. So that was one of the things that was appealing to me because when we started looking at, what is this company really doing, right? And we're trying to serve everybody, right? We're trying to bring a solution that's going to disrupt the market that everybody lives in. So it just kind of made sense that rather than selling a portion of my company to some board or venture capital group, it could be owned by everybody. So that's where I'm taking it.
Before I forget, I'm sure I can speak for Nikki Caboose, my boss. If you're watching, Nikki, hey Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
We'd love to do an article on your upcoming event for the newsletter.
Cool.
When is it again?
I believe so. It was originally going to happen in October of last year, and then the hurricane came through, and it caused a big drop in attendance. So now I believe it's scheduled for February, but I will confirm the date and I'll get back with everybody.
Okay,
on
yeah.
the details.
Love
Be
to
on the
promote it.
lookout.
Anybody else interested in supporting Justin, reach out to him on Al. But we're going to try again and call another previous expert of the day.
Yes, I was here when Donna was here, and she is an expert on LinkedIn. She's incredible. She wrote a book, LinkedIn for Dummies, right?
Correct.
Love that.
And she's funny.
I think, yeah, it's about optimizing your profile.
Donna.
Nice. Yeah.
Donna.
Jeffrey, hey, hello.
Hi, Donna.
Hello,
Donna.
Donna.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks.
How are you?
Thanks for taking the call. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
We have the lovely, and I'm going to say vivacious, Donna Sadula on the phone. Donna was a previous keynote speaker at Tech Hub's Tech Talent Fest. That's another area that we focus on, the shortage of tech talent. And not only was she the keynote, but she was gracious enough to be on the next day, the expert of the day. So we're calling out and checking in with Donna as an expert of the day. How you been? What's new?
I've been great. What's new? It's the holidays, and people are thinking about gifts and what to get someone special in their lives. And I've been suggesting ever so subtly that they might think about offering branding to the person in their life.
Love
So
that. Love that.
I forgot to ask you up front. Tell us a little more about you and what you do and the services you offer. My bad. I forgot to ask.
oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So anything that has to do with personal branding. So people come to my company because they recognize that they need to take a step out and be seen and be really control how they're noticed, how they're perceived, and they recognize that when they take control, they can find better clients, they can find better job opportunities. Opportunities land in their lap. They become the person who doesn't have to look for jobs or clients because they find them. Right? It's that idea of being a magnet.
Love that.
It sounds awesome.
It does.
So-
It does.
A little backstory. The way I met Donna is I bought her book, LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies. I was one of the dummies. Great book. I brought it in the last 4 or 5 shows. It's worn and torn and tattered.
I have an autograph copy.
Yes.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So Cindy was here that day. You were here, Donna.
Yeah.
But I bought the book, started using it, slowly reached out to Donna. We built an online relationship, and over time, I don't know if it was you or me, I said, let's talk. So we networked and we talked, and eventually I asked you to be keynote, and you were gracious enough to accept. So I do have a history here with Donna, but she also has the LinkedIn optimization profiling for dummies. It's out on Amazon as well.
Donna, I don't know you, but my name's Amanda Marino. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn.
Oh, absolutely, Amanda. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
two
tell
thorough women.
Donna a little about what you do, Amanda, while we have her on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I own a concierge mental health and substance use coaching business. I do a lot of other things, though. I public speak. I work on TV on the show Intervention, Digital Addiction. And then I also teach people in behavioral health because it's very behind the mark on how to do branding, social media, and like therapists and people that are scared to get in front of camera, go there and help them and like walk them through it. So I do a number of things, but I definitely am interested in connecting with you. You sound like a woman I would vibe with.
Absolutely.
I think
We'll connect on LinkedIn. It's a shame that I'm over the phone. I can't show you my QR code to connect with.
I'll look for it. It's fine. I have your name. I'll find you.
Well, speaking of that, why don't you Donna has a couple of separate businesses. She also has a B2B side and a university kind of focused business, but your regular, I guess, B2C, why don't you go ahead and say the URL and spell it out so that people can follow up and get more information?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. It's linkedin-makeover.com. That's the work that we do with our LinkedIn profile optimization. And then visionboardmedia.com is where we do the larger scale branding, personal branding projects.
And I love the work that you do for students too, because I think that's
Yeah.
like the next generation is it's so important for them to learn about LinkedIn and optimize it.
Talk a little about that, Don, as well.
Yeah, so we were, it was John Carrick and myself, we were talking about how, it's hard. It's hard to brand yourself. It's really hard for executives and CEOs. They're the ones that often reach out to us. And we were just saying one day, if a CEO is really struggling to tell his story or her story, what chance does a student have? I mean, how much more difficult would it be for, is it for them? And that was really the impetus to create Ready Set You. Is let's take all of this, the work and our writers and our methodologies that we use branding executives, and let's give students that same opportunity. And that's really what Ready Set You is about. It's helping, it's empowering them, it's motivating them, it's inspiring them to really start off their career in a manner that's going to set them up for lifelong success.
I love it. And I also think, as a parent of 2 teens myself, 16 and 19.
You can't be that old.
You're so sweet, Jeffrey.
I know.
I just feel like the digital footprint to have that is so important, right? That foundation, and to learn that from someone who knows her stuff. So
I already requested you.
Oh, awesome.
So I didn't forget your name.
So Donna, that's readysetyou, all one word.com, correct?
Yep.
And Donna,
ReadySetYou.com, LinkedIn-makeover.com, and VisionBoardMedia.com. They're all three of those are my individual digital pieces of my footprint.
Does she live locally?
no. And here's a little tidbit. I didn't know. So we have Justin, who is with a 3D printing company that's local. And in his intro, he mentioned you were born in Bucks County.
Yeah, Bucks County,
And
Pennsylvania.
I know Donna is currently in Bucks County. I think. Is that
Are you
I'm
cool?
sitting in Lower Bucks County right now.
connecting those dots again, Jeffrey.
So there you go. You weren't
So
you weren't
cool.
born there, or were you, Donna?
No, I was St. Mary's Hospital, which is right in the heart of
Oh,
Bucks
okay.
County. And the first few years of my life, I was in Levittown, and then we moved to Yardley, and now I'm in
Wow.
Newtown. So all very,
And
very
Denis
much.
too has that Philly connection,
Right.
right?
So Denis, one of our other co-pilots,
Who was here with Donna.
was
Yeah.
here with Donna that day as well. I don't think he was born in Philadelphia, but he
No, Ukraine, but he was there, I think,
lived
when
there
he
a
was
long time.
10. Yeah.
So we're all human. By the way, none of you are bots, correct? I need to say that.
No.
We're all
We're
human.
not 3D printed
We're
yet.
not 3D printed bots, not yet. We're not Skynet, not yet. So we're all human. Following up what you said, I'm a big believer in that. We're all human. We all have emotions, good, bad, or indifferent. So we are all ultimately connected. So one other plug for Donna, and I've used it a lot. Yes, she has a for-profit side, but Donna is gracious enough that provides a lot of content, free content for LinkedIn users, and I've used it myself. So thank you for that, Donna, as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you visit LinkedIn-makeover.com and click on free resources, there's a slew of free tools and videos and learning and just tons of stuff in there. So absolutely check it out.
Awesome.
When you give, you receive, for sure.
Yeah. It's so true.
So another nice comment about Donna, I had not seen her present before at the keynote. Very funny, very relaxed. I told her when I grow up and present, I want to be like her. I was like she'd done it for years, which she has, but it was really interesting to see you present in front of students.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. In fact, it was funny. Dion finally shared with me some of the videos that she took. So last night I was watching and I thought, oh, okay, good. I didn't completely embarrass myself.
Oh, you're too hard on yourself. You were amazing. We got about
You're
a
a
minute.
natural, Donna.
She is. We have about a minute left. Anybody on the panel have any other thoughts or questions?
What's cooking for 2025, Donna?
2025, you know what? 2025, I feel like 2024 was the year of transition, and 2025 is the year of transformation for us.
Love
it. My focus is really going to be on branding, personal branding, not just LinkedIn, but really helping people understand exactly who they are and what they're doing to really help them see themselves and just change other people's perceptions and make amazing things happen. And we're going to be doing it in a whole bunch of different ways now. And
So
I'm really,
important.
really excited.
And help people believe in themselves, because sometimes the fear of putting
Mhm.
yourself out there is so deep. I love that you're helping people find themselves and have good self-esteem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Donna, we got
Thanks, Donna.
2 seconds. Say goodbye, Donna. Bye. Too late.
Oh, that was great. By the way, I was thinking as we're talking, Jeffrey, I know that there was a panel, I don't know when it was, like in the beginning of the year at ModMed on mental health and all these different, it's something to consider Amanda for, because she should get more involved in the South Florida Tech Hub
Yeah. So
community.
let me go back to your women's question. So South Florida Tech Hub has 4 core pillars: brand, South Florida, community, tech talent, and startup entrepreneurship. For the community, we serve the traditional tech community, but we also serve underserved communities. What do we mean by underserved communities? Women, Black, Hispanics. Not enough women in tech. Been a lot of issues for women to grow and prosper and advance in tech. So we have a lot of women. So we have a women's peer group for women's empowerment. We have a lot of webinars and in-person meetings for women empowerment. It's something you might want to get involved in. And we do periodically have other webinars and panels. So
Love that. I used to have a nonprofit called Women Empowering Women.
there you go. I'll talk to Nikki Caboose. Hi, Nikki, if you're watching again.
Hi, Nikki.
I'm sure you'd like to meet her. As a matter of fact, if you can come to the event, this is a good wrap up. Actually, I'll come back to that. So it's the sad time of the show. I could go on for another hour, but I don't think you want to listen to me. So we're going to kind of wrap up. I'm going to go around the
These
table
2 guests, we could listen to them forever.
as well.
I'm in awe.
So we're going to go around the table and any parting thoughts or wrap up or anything you want to mention that we haven't discussed. I'm going to let you go first, Amanda.
Awesome. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. We
You're
didn't get into AI, which I wanted to do a little
We
bit, but I think we all could talk all day, the 4 of us. So we have that vibe. But I am open to investing. If you're passionate about mental health, if you're passionate about changing the world, I just got the Instagram anti-women haters, like starting a movement like that. So if if you see this and you're just interested in anything that I do, please reach out. I'm always open to collaborations, partnerships, and things like that. And thank you.
So apology, I didn't realize that. I would have asked you that question.
Oh, it's totally okay.
So thanks for
It's
clarifying.
okay. Yeah.
Clarifying that. Cindy.
Oh, well, we are in the midst of getting our date set for TEDx Book Return for 2025. So as soon as we have
Yay.
that, I will let you know. In the meanwhile, Denis and I are working on an event January 31st at Brick called $1 Million Message for those people who might want to be a TEDx speaker. It's on Eventbrite. But even if you are a TEDx speaker, we're doing it with several TEDx speakers and 10 people, 10 minutes each, sharing their $1 Million Message at the Boca Raton Innovation Campus. And I think Amanda's going to be there.
Ooh,
Yes.
yes.
You have a URL landing page set up for that yet?
It's on Eventbrite.
It's on
So
Eventbrite,
yeah,
okay.
$1 Million Message, January 31st at the Boca Raton Innovation Campus.
Right.
Love that.
Speaking of Brick, very active Tech Hub member. We had Gianna on a couple of weeks ago. Beautiful venue, amazing venue.
We love Gianna.
Yeah. If you've never been to Brick, definitely go. It's an amazing venue. It was the previous IBM site. We'll talk about that on another show.
It's an awesome spot.
Thank you. Justin, parting thoughts? Anything you want to mention that we haven't talked about?
I guess for me, it would just be that, as far as the 3D printing stuff goes, one of the biggest challenges we have is just getting the word out that the solution exists. And so, a underlying topic today has been social media, so I have to plug my social media. We're trying to build the followers.
I can help you.
Yeah,
We'll be tagging you.
Help tag me on like let's see. I mean, I'm on TikTok as long as that's still going to be around for the next couple of months. Instagram is probably our biggest following right now.
What's your handle on Instagram?
At Printera 3D. So
Okay.
Just it's and we should come right up. We're starting to build a following, but the real reason is just to see the projects we're working on and let people see that the solution exists and for all different types of applications. So.
I have a bunch of intros I want to make to you.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to it. And I'm happy to talk with anybody also. So find me on the Owwll app as well. So that'll
And
be
your
awesome.
story on social media needs to be heard because it's power. That's where people are going. They're going less to Google. They're
Right.
going more to social
Right.
media to find business and find new ideas and things. So I'll just help you like on a phone call.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
Steph is
Thank
in the
you,
background.
Jason, and
Thank you,
Owwll
Jason.
community.
You guys are amazing. Thank you.
We have one more Tech Tuesday for the rest of the year next week.
Wow.
An amazing guest, and then we're going to take a holiday break. So stay tuned for our next Tech Tuesday, a week from today. Thank you again, Steph. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We're coming in for a landing.
Owwll.
I'll make sure we get there safely. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hoot,
Thank you.
hoot.